Justin Fields completed 14 of 24 passes yesterday for 145 yards. Not the greatest day as a Pittsburgh Steeler, but he ran 11 times for 59 yards. It was really 10 times for 60 yards, but he took a knee. They count that in the NFL, and 2 touchdowns. There were moments of, how do you get 2 delay of game penalties in one game? How does that happen? There were moments of, you're 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. What's going on there? And then there were moments of, if Russell Wilson's on this field right now, that's a sack. If Russell Wilson's on the field right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't score that touchdown. And there are moments of both of those in this game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2. They put up 32 points against the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Fields has 2 turnovers all season long. He's doing exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers asked their quarterback to do, which is don't lose football games, and he's not doing that. But, I mean, we'll find out tomorrow. Can the Pittsburgh Steelers really bench a quarterback after putting up 32 points in a win?
Yeah, they can. And I honestly, if I had to predict what they would do, I would say they will. Because Justin, while, yeah, there were a lot of plays that he made yesterday that were plays that only Justin can make, or at the very least, plays that Russell cannot, I do think that this is a team that looks at this and says he didn't blow everybody away. He did have, I would consider, a bad game yesterday.
Yes.
And what he did well were the things that he did well in Chicago. He made plays with his legs. You're hoping your offensive line is not as bad. Obviously, you're hoping for the best with Zach Frazier at center, because if you're down another starting offensive lineman, you're in a very difficult situation. But at the same time, I think the Steelers are going to look at this and say, we put up 32 points, but how many of those drives started on the Vegas Raiders 20-yard line, the 10-yard line, at one point, the 8-yard line? What I would do is I would still ride it out with Justin. I would let Justin continue to build on what he has started in this season. But I just feel like what we've seen from everything over the past week, it feels like that was not a performance that was enough to hold off Russell Wilson, considering how much Mike Tomlin wants to see what he has. So again, I'm not saying that I would do it, but I'm saying that could they do it? Do I see them doing it? Yes, I see them doing it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if I see them doing it yet. I think that they might continue to push this off, and they have one more excuse. You know, the final excuse is, well, Russ is shaking off the rust. And they could push that out. They got a whole week to push that out, because Mike Tomlin, he knew what he was doing. He didn't just talk to the media and say, oh, now it's about shaking off the rust. He knew that was in the game plan. He knew that he had to say that to extend this conversation even further. I think that's what we get on Tuesday, is we'll see if Russ can shake off the rust enough, and then we'll have a conversation by the end of the week. If we get there, that'll be the conversation. I personally think you are nuts to bench Justin Fields right now. I don't think you should announce him as the long-term starter. I don't believe that he did enough in these last 2 weeks to say he's the guy. You got to stick with them. But I think that if you're 4-2, you have a guy who is not losing you football games. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a clear plan. And I think that's the thing here, is everybody's going to talk about, well, he didn't have the best game. He didn't have the best game. He's not the reason they scored 32 points. He scored 2 of those touchdowns, first off. And second off, the Steelers never wanted Russell Wilson to come out here and score 40 points on his own. Never. The game plan this season was hire an offensive coordinator who was going to run the football better than anybody. Okay? That's what they did yesterday. Check. The defense is going to hold off offenses to the point where you win through just simply not losing. Check. The Pittsburgh Steelers are doing that. And your quarterback, all he cannot do is turn the football over and put you in position to win. He doesn't have to go win it. He's just got to put you in position to win football games. And Justin Fields has done that. He does not score every time. There are drives that start on the 8-yard line and finish with negative 10 yards. And that's atrocious. That is atrocious. That's as bad as it gets. Easy, hands down. But the Steelers don't score 3 touchdowns yesterday without Justin Fields. And I don't think Russell Wilson, with his one calf, jogs into the end zone and runs around an outside linebacker to get into the corner of the end zone on a play that nobody was open on. I just don't think that that's a thing. I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting exactly what they asked for out of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Is it impressive? No. But no matter who the quarterback was going to be this season, it wasn't going to be impressive because that wasn't their game plan. Basketball season is right around the corner, and there are few live events that make you feel as in the moment. And I get it. Football season is probably one of them where you feel like you're there. You're part of the action. Well, let me tell you about Game Time and how Game Time has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filter out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I decided to jump on and see what Pittsburgh Steelers versus New York Jets tickets look like in primetime. And it took me 3 seats before they hit me with a great deal telling me that not only are these probably the cheapest, but for the view, they may be the best deal that anybody can offer. Let me walk you through a couple of really nice things about Game Time. First, priority. Game Time Picks curates to make it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. They give you all-in pricing, which means that this feature shows you the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout, because that is the absolute worst thing about buying tickets. They give you seat views because nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to show up not knowing what their view of the stadium is going to look like. The lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And Game Time ticket coverage, which means that your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use our code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code ALLSTEELERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Now, can the offense get better with Russ? I think so. I think you could put Russ out there and get a guy that knows how to win football games, and get a guy that's going to come in here and complete more passes, and you're going to have less mistakes, and maybe he just throws a couple more deep balls. I think all that is a possibility. I also think that to bench Justin Fields, you are taking a risk that you just totally killed his confidence, which is high right now. You totally shook up the entire offense and said, hey guys, I understand that all summer long and into the season, we have been building rapport with Justin Fields as the starter, because people can't act like Russ has been here. This has been Justin's team since the moment he got here. And we're going to shake that up. And we're going to take a shot that 4-2 now turns into 4-3, 4-4, maybe head into the bye week 4-5. And then what do? You go back to Justin? Is that what you do here? No. It is so much easier to keep Justin out there and take less risk and say, Russ is the guy when we need him to be the guy, but he's not the guy right now. And people say, because I had this asked multiple times yesterday, can the Pittsburgh Steelers put up 32 points? Is that going to be enough? Is throwing for 145 yards enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills? I don't know, but the Pittsburgh Steelers weren't planning to throw for more than 145 yards to beat those teams anyways. The plan was not for Russell Wilson to go out and single-handedly beat Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't. It was for Najee Harris and a defense to beat Patrick Mahomes. And if you're putting up 32 points, you got a shot. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's far from perfect, but I think you take in the risk-reward situation, Russell Wilson is not as big of a reward as people want to say he is. He's just not. He doesn't have the proven track record these days to be that big splashy reward. He is more of a risk than he is a reward right now. And I think he could work out, but how much, like what's the upgrade? I guess that's my question here is, what's the upgrade? You switch to Russ. What are you looking for? 35 points a game? Is that what you're trying to get out of this?
I think saying the 32 points is the main factor is certainly sugarcoating it and hiding what the offense was yesterday. I think the biggest issue, no matter who's in there right now, is the offensive line, the offensive coordinator. That's why I think you should stick with Fields, because I think he can make that situation better. I'm not saying that you're looking for an upgrade over 32 points, because I think TJ Watt put up at least 10 of those 32 points based on his right arm. So what I'm saying is I would keep Justin in, and I agree with you on that fact, but not because, what more are you going to get out of Russell Wilson? You're going to get what I think is a similar quarterback without the things that can save the Steelers if the offensive line and the play calling remains as bad as it is.
Okay, so if George Pickens continues to drop balls, okay,
Yes.
nobody else is open. Najee Harris runs for 41 yards like he did the last 2 weeks on 14 rushing attempts. You're telling me Russell Wilson scores more than 24 points against Indy and 17 points against Dallas? That's what I mean by the 32. And I get, like, you're agreeing with me, so I'm not arguing with you here, but the situation at hand is there are moments where, yeah, you would like Russ out there, but there are also moments where you look at it and go, this offense might be worse actually with Russell Wilson, because in times where chaos just completely takes over, Justin is able to improvise on that chaos and turn something good into it. And I don't know if Russ has that in him anymore. And I'm not saying that that's what you're looking for here. You shouldn't win games off of chaos, but Mike Tomlin loves his freaking chaos, man. He loves it. And he does not want to get rid of it. And again, in these situations, that's what you're looking for, is the chaos. It's just, I don't agree with it. I don't agree that I think you should go out and win games 45-0 every single time if you're capable to. And maybe Russ gets you there. I don't know. But I think the risk reward here is much more dangerous than people want to admit. If you put Russ out there, you are potentially throwing away a 4-2 season if he doesn't work out, because now you have to, that's the thing, is you tell Justin, we do not trust you. We're done. You're just a place filler. And then you got to go back out there. What if he goes back out there and wins you 2 playoff games? He's not going to resign with you because you just already told him, you're not our guy. We don't want you. So I think the conversation is a bit scary, because if they do bench him, you can't go back. That's it. That's the end of it. You can't go back to Justin Fields after you bench him. There's just no conversation to be had there. You've killed his trust. We'll see what happens. Tomlin's going to say something tomorrow. I do not expect Tomlin to go to that podium and say, Russ is our guy. We're going to Russ. I think he's going to say, we'll see where Russ is at the end of the week. We'll try to shake the rust off, and we'll go forward from there. He'll compliment Justin, and then they'll move on.